Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your daily dose of zombies news from the game and its community. Here on God Zombies HQ, thank you so much for tuning in today. We've got a lot to talk about, so let's kick things right off with our first story of the day. Treyarch released a pretty significant new zombies patch today that deals with a lot of different aspects of Firebase Z and makes some big changes to the map that players have been asking for. The first of these changes comes in the form of some crash fixes that I've specifically heard a lot of players that are playing on the PlayStation 4 seem to be having a lot more stability with the actual Firebase Z map, a lot less crashing after this update. Treyarch specifically pointing out that they fixed a bunch of crashes relating to the Easter egg and with Tombstone Soda. But on the topic of Tombstone Soda, the new perk that's been introduced with Firebase Z has been extremely underwhelming and completely broken on this map up until this point. If you weren't aware, if you upgraded Tombstone to tier 3 to give it the ability of Who's Who from Black Ops 2, and you went ahead and went down and bled out, you come back to your Tombstone stash next round, where your experience would be just like this Reddit user having to pay a crazy amount of points to collect your stash, but you would receive absolutely nothing in return. While Treyarch hasn't changed or mentioned the crazy amount of points it costs just to reclaim your Tombstone stash, what they did change is they addressed an issue where the player's resources would not update on collecting their stash. So hopefully now that when you do totally bleed out and you have Tombstone, you will actually get your stuff back when you pay the crazy amount of points to reclaim your Tombstone stash. But that's not all they changed with Tombstone. They also addressed an issue where a player could not pick up items after dying in the shadow form under certain circumstances. So that's another important fix. I heard tons of people saying that after they used Tombstone, specifically in the shadow form, you couldn't pick up anything on the map. No salvage, no drops, nothing. Next up, again relating to Tombstone, that they've addressed an issue where the player could die and not reach their body while fast traveling in shadow form. Now, I'm not 100% sure what this could be referring to. I have seen some footage of this Reddit user whose buddy was permanently stuck within the Tombstone's shadow form. Perhaps this is relating to this fix here. Next up, Treyarch made some massive changes to the way the game counts your progression taking down enemies here in Firebase Z. One of the biggest complaints with the amount of mimics and manglers that spawn on this map is that they didn't actually count towards taking down any of the quote-unquote elites in your challenge progress for camos, making the whole of Firebase Z totally worthless when trying to complete those challenges. Well, Treyarch seems to have heard the community's calls and have fixed that, where now this special enemy class, the Manglers and Mimics, counts towards elite eliminations in weapon camo challenges. So a huge change there where Mimics and Manglers will now actually count towards your progress, and beyond that, with the sheer amount of Manglers and Mimics that spawn on this map, it'll be a much easier, much more effective way of going for those challenges than trying to take down the Megatons back in D Machina, which spawn a whole lot less often. In the same way, the boss zombie on the map, the Orda, is also changed, where Treyarch says that Orda eliminations now count for 3 elite eliminations towards weapon camo challenges. So a huge overhaul to the way the game tracks your elite takedown progress on Firebase Z, making it the best map to quickly get elite takedowns in the game released so far. Next up, on the gameplay side of things, Treyarch says that they've closed an exploit where players could teleport out of the village using Aether Shroud tier 3. Now, yesterday we did show off a clip of the ability to use the Aether Shroud blink ability to get to the teleporter at the starting village of the map without buying the first door. Treyarch has indicated that they are thinking of patching out the ability to use a strafe jump to get to the teleporter without opening the first door. This Aether Shroud jump is kind of an alternative to that route. I don't think that the initial Aether Shroud jump to the teleporter is the one they patched here, but definitely some more testing needs to be done to confirm that. And next up, they addressed a rare issue where an Orda assault round could end prematurely. I've also seen some reports of this. When they say it's a rare issue, it is an extremely rare issue where the assault round with the Orda would just end super quick. They claim they fixed that. Next up, a lot of players believe that there might have been some big unsolved Easter egg on Firebase Z to unlock the final artifact on the map itself. But unfortunately, it seems like that wasn't the case, and that final artifact was glitched, where Treyarch said that they've addressed an issue where the Dark Aether artifact intel was not being awarded properly during the main quest. So this final Dark Aether artifact was simply the Omega canister that you need to obtain in order to complete the main Easter egg on Firebase Z. For whatever reason, it wasn't being awarded before. That's since been fixed. Moving on to our second story of the day, a lot of players have been kind of calling out Treyarch that the ending boss fight, the Easter egg ending boss fight, is a little bit too easy, and that maybe Treyarch should be thinking about jacking up the health of that ending boss to give it a little bit more of a challenge. Well, just how quickly you can take down this ending boss is no better demonstrated than this Reddit user, who using the wombo combo of a Ring of Fire and a fully upgraded legendary RPG was able to take down this final boss in under 7 seconds of gameplay and around 4.5 seconds of actually beginning to fire off his RPG at the boss. So definitely not much of a challenge if you come into the boss fight prepared. I wonder if Treyarch will end up slightly modifying the health and challenge of this boss fight in the future. Another new side Easter egg was discovered on Firebase Z. This one is related to get permanent upgraded monkey bombs on the map itself. The way you complete the Easter egg is fairly straightforward. You just need to get 50 kills with monkey bombs side of the mission control or military command areas of the map. Find a full guide on how to do it linked down in the description of this video. Next up, in one of those I didn't know that it could do that moments, where Reddit user EasyNBD discovered that a mimic can actually disguise itself as an entire perk machine on Firebase Z. Usually you'll see them as just various salvage or score streak drops on the ground, but I and many other people have never seen this before, that yes, they can actually totally disguise themselves as entire perk machines. When they do reveal themselves to be mimics for a period of time, that perk machine will actually be totally despawned from the map. Now, the Reddit user does say that the perk machine will respawn after a few seconds, but if you're ever needing to find a mimic and have checked everywhere, you don't see any random salvage or score streaks on the ground, might be a good idea to start actually checking the perk machines of the map. Next up, as the hunt for side Easter eggs continue on Firebase Z, there are a couple leads and ideas that have people focused on various places of the map since the release of Firebase Z. Guys like PureMalt over on YouTube have noticed various paper scraps that appear around Firebase Z with letter and number combinations on them. One thing that we saw a whole lot of in regards to Easter eggs over on D Machina that we really haven't seen on Firebase Z yet is a lot of these steps and triggers for side Easter eggs on the map being located outside of the map itself, most notably for the radio towers and the jump scare Easter eggs on D Machina. Treyarch usually likes to use those outside of the map triggers as it makes them just a little bit more hard to find, and my guess would be is that that's what they're doing on this map as well. So if you're ever playing Firebase Z, you've got some downtime, your buddy's trying to do the Easter egg, wants you to hold a zombie, try to use any kind of scoped weapon to take a look beyond the bounds of the map itself, fire off some rounds and some random stuff, and just see if anything happens. But guys, that wraps up the news today. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy it, hey, why not leave a thumbs up on the video, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you aren't already, because I want to thank you so much again for watching, and I'll see you with another Zombies news video tomorrow. Peace.